Here in front of me, I've got 4 down sleeping bags that all come in under $300 each. These are each high quality, great budget-friendly options for sleeping bags for backpacking. I'm going to break down each of them individually and share with you why I think these are great options for backpacking. The first bag we're going to talk about today is the Kelty Cosmic Ultra Down 20-degree bag. This is the lowest price point at $225 for the regular size, and it does have an 800 fill dry down inside of the bag. And you might think, well, that makes it a super high quality bag, which is not always the case. And I think a trap that we can get into, considering that in order for a bag to be high quality, it's got to have a high fill power down, which is not always the case. I look at the overall design of a sleeping bag to say, how is that going to provide warmth and comfort through a night of sleep? And the Kelty design is probably my least favorite of the bags that we're going to talk about today. It's just very generic, and that's fine. It just does absolutely hit the price point that makes it not as premium in a way as you have with other sleeping bags. And I'll explain that as we go through this sleeping bag. Now, what you have are horizontal baffles throughout the entire sleeping bag. And those horizontal baffles do make it so that the down is going to shift a bit more than with other options that maybe have segmented baffle systems where you have horizontal baffles through the footbox and then vertical baffles through the torso. The hood is kind of a miss for me on the Kelty Cosmic. This is not as comfortable as I would like to see. It's kind of a weird shape, and this cord ends up like right in front of your face. It's not the ideal shape for me. You have a 20 denier nylon on the inside and the outside, buttery smooth. It's really comfortable that way. And the other thing about this bag that I don't love, and I was kind of surprised when I first got this, it was like, wait a second, is that synthetic insulation in the footbox? And it's like all lumpy and weird. And when I first pulled it out of the bag to check it out, I was like, this has like a big, huge empty spot in it. And I wasn't like super psyched on the fact that they put synthetic insulation into the bottom of the footbox. And it's not the fact that it's synthetic insulation, it's just that it's not as high quality, and it feels like corner cutting in a way with this particular bag. I will say that for a $225 bag that has a 800 fill power dry down inside of it, this is an awesome option for people to choose when they don't want to spend a lot of money on a backpacking sleeping bag. Let's talk about the Cumulus Lightline 400 down sleeping bag. I think that this is probably the best value of the sleeping bags we'll talk about today, because under $300, you have the ability to customize a sleeping bag to fit your particular needs. So the name of the Lightline 400 means that this has 400 grams of insulation put into the bag. And I've actually customized this to include 460 grams of insulation to bring it down to a limit rating of 20 degrees. So down to about freezing temperature, 0 degrees Celsius is where this is going to shine the most. And there's a lot of aspects to the Lightline that I really enjoy. The hood is way better, in my opinion, on this bag than you get from the Kelty, and a bit more comfortable. You've got some dual adjustment on the hood. So I've got the ability to adjust around the neck here, keep the top a little bit looser, and that's a nice touch to this bag. You also have a draft collar around your neckline, so that's gonna help keep you a bit warmer. This being a left-hand zip, it's got a way better zip system to it than the Kelty, but what's kind of missing is there's not as much of a rigid ribbon that is on the zipper inside here. So you do have a draft tube that makes this just have the ability to keep drafts from going in and out of the zipper. But you do find that even though it's one of those anti-snag plows, in the time that I've used this so far, it has caught a few times because this draft tube just, even though the ribbon is right against the zipper, it still is really close to the zipper track and it will catch from time to time. Inside of the bag, you do have what's pretty neat here, a little mesh zipper pocket for you to put a phone, headlamp, chapstick, or something in there that you want quick and easy access to while you're out sleeping in the bag. You do have horizontal baffles all the way throughout the bag, but they are staggered in their width. So those are going to help make it so that the down doesn't adjust and shift and fall to the sides quite as much. And the overall size of this bag is really nice. For a traditional mummy-shaped bag, it's really comfortable, roomy, and doesn't feel super claustrophobic. The foot box, it's cut in a way so that when your feet are sticking up, you don't have the down pushing against your toes and stuff and then creating cold spots. So it's ergonomically shaped for you to be able to sleep comfortably and have plenty of room for your feet to move around. The fabric used on the Lightline from Cumulus is a Pertex Quantum fabric, which is going to help repel and remove water away from you. So when you've got condensation and such inside of a tent, that Pertex fabric on the outside is going to help protect that, but it's also a super lightweight, very soft, very comfortable fabric, which is something I like to see from a sleeping bag. For under $300 for a 3-season focused bag that is very lightweight, compacts down, it has the smallest compression size that you saw from all of the bags we're going to talk about today, 850 fill power. It's a fantastic, fantastic option that you can customize and get from a international company in Poland, in fact, that is just making a really high quality product. So besides the Cumulus bag, this Mountain Hardwear Bishop Pass 15-degree down sleeping bag is something I'm really, really excited about. There's detail aspects to this Bishop Pass bag that I'm like, wow, for $285, this is really high quality. So this has a 650 fill power in it. And when I was initially looking at this bag on the website, it looks very narrow, like very tight and super claustrophobic. And when I've looked at this several times over the years, I thought, that looks pretty cool, but it looks so claustrophobic. But I'm glad that I finally got my hands on one because it is not that way at all. Like, it is very similar to my Western Mountaineering Ultralight, which is a very similar shape and everything, but significantly less money. Now, what you have is a left side zipper. You've got a large draft tube, larger than you have on the Cumulus. You've got the ribbon here along the zipper track that makes it so that that can't catch quite as easy. And you've got the same like anti-snag zipper plow that you see on here as well as on the Cumulus. And the hood is a nice shape as well with a draft tube all the way around the entire thing, not just at the neckline, all the way around. So it's really gonna just close things in and eliminate those drafts. You also have a neckline draft tube, and the performance of it is phenomenal. This bag is going to be exceptionally warm for down to freezing temperatures, high 20s, and that has been the experience with it so far. Just really high quality. Like, I'm very impressed with this bag. You've got your standard drawstring cinch around your face, around the hood, and then in the foot box, plenty of space. So this is very similar to that Cumulus where it's kind of like angled out and up. So you've got a nice roomy foot box, plenty of space to move around. And I think what really stands out for this bag compared to the others, especially against the Kelty, is even though this is a 650 fill power, which requires more fill for you to achieve that temperature rating, the loft of this bag is what really stands out to me as really positive and something that I like to see in a sleeping bag. So I think the downside to this bag is because it's 650 fill, it's a little bit heavier than some other bags out there, and it also doesn't pack down quite as small. Like, that is the benefit of higher fill power downs. This being 650, it's not gonna compress quite as much because you have more down, and just the build quality and the price point really makes this a fantastic option. $285 for everything that you get out of this. It's amazing. The last bag we'll talk about today is the Zenbivy Core Bed. This is the newest offering from Zenbivy that comes in at under $300 for what I think is one of the most comfortable sleep experiences possible. This is the 25-degree rated version that has a 650 fill power down inside of it. It incorporates other aspects of Zenbivy bed systems that make this really compelling. What you have is the sheet system that you get from the light bed incorporated into the core bed. So you have this hook and loop closure system that keeps everything attached to the sheet to make it very bed-like and to eliminate drafts and to make it so when you're moving around inside of the bag, you don't have the bag moving with you and opening up and everything, because this is technically a top quilt. So it is not a sleeping bag with zippers. You've got a traditional kind of style footbox here that has overlapping panels and a singular hook on around the knees that allows you to open this up to make it really wide like a blanket, but you can close that up and have it a lot tighter for you to sleep a bit warmer. The baffling on this bag is different from all of the others that we've talked about today, but that's primarily because this is a quilt. And with a quilt, they're a lot wider around the torso. You want vertical baffles throughout the torso to make it so that down stays in place while you are sleeping. Then in the footbox area, you do have your horizontal baffles, so it's zoned in that way to make it the most comfortable possible. So what I love about the core bed is the fact that this truly feels like a bed. This is just a huge quilt that opens up. You've got a very large hood in here to put a pillow and such in, but more importantly, it allows for all of the different sleeping positions you can imagine. Sleeping on your back, on your stomach, your side. I can wrap my arm around my pillow, have it up around my head. Just provides the most bed-like experience of what we've talked about today. I don't have to have a hood around my face that makes it so I'm more in a coffin, I guess, and way less claustrophobic than anything else that we've talked about today. You've got the Kylie curve system here throughout the neckline with a draft collar that helps eliminate drafts. All of the aspects of the core bed just make this, for the price point of $289, a really, really compelling option that is not overly heavy. It is high performance, and it is also meant to be budget focused. So 650 fill power down. You've got fabrics that are very, very soft, very comfortable against the skin. The aspects to this that make it hit a price point still provide a really comfortable sleep experience. Synthetic insulation in the hood, but you can also get a sheet that doesn't have any insulation, which helps reduce the weight and provide the experience that the sheet provides in keeping things attached to your sleeping pad, which I think that if you're going to get a Zenbivy quilt, you gotta get the sheet with it. It just enhances the overall experience so much with this. So check out the first look video for this down in the description that I've already released and gives you way more information and experience with this bag, but that's the Zenbivy Core Bed. 4 down sleeping bags, all under $300 each, really high performance, great quality, just nice options for backpacking. Highly recommend checking them out. I've got links down in the description. I want to thank Moose Jaw for sponsoring this video today. Hope you guys have an awesome day. We'll catch you on the next one. See you later.